Here we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Did I get it right this time? Oh, yes, I did. How's everyone doing in the morning on this fine... What day is it? Tuesday? You know, when you don't work, when you're out of work for a while, you don't always know what day it is. It is Tuesday. Thank you for joining me on the Morning Night Live. It's Twitter Tuesday, so everything, pretty much everything from the show comes from the formerly known as Twitter. It's kind of like, you know, when Prince was that little symbol thing, formerly known as Prince. Well, this is the app formerly known as Twitter. And X Tuesdays doesn't sound as good as Twitter Tuesdays because I really enjoy alliteration. Anyway, I'm glad you all showed up. I know it's my hours are a little off. Just various reasons. I got a lot to deal with this thing. This thing right here, that my hip and all that. So I can make excuses like the best of them. Anyway, we got a lot to go to show. A couple funny things, especially that nonsense. Oops, wait, that nonsense over there. But it's just one of many. So if you are ready, I certainly am. Johnny, please stop the music. And please play the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's It's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only Dawg Knight.
Alrighty then. Should we get this thing started? Hell yes. Can I get a hell yeah? Stop the music. Oh, you did it. Thank you, Johnny. You beat me to it. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet. And welcome to the Dawg Knight Channel, where we talk about stuff that's happened in the world and, occasionally make a video here and there. And hopefully you'll enjoy what we're doing here. So, and I just thank you. I got a new subscriber just now, Tosh and Kev. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. I'm back putting, I put my first short video on this channel again since probably the first one since before I left for vacation about 3 weeks ago. And so I'm going to start putting them on this channel. My other channel, though, Marty's Big Journey, I've been putting content up there pretty much every day over the last at least week or so. And that's just my getaway channel. I tell jokes and I show vacation footage with, inspiring things on my vacation stuff, or maybe informational things about vacation stuff. So if you want to see cool places and laugh a little bit, check out Marty's Big Journey. But on this channel, we talk current events, politics from my perspective, which is definitely right of center. But I certainly enjoy having some, people who are, let's say, I wouldn't say necessarily adversarial, but just have a different opinion about things than me. Everyone's welcome here. It's free country and it's free show. I do have my cup of, well, it's not coffee because I can't drink coffee for a while, but I do have my new coffee cup filled with some lemonade, and I might even put some booze in it because I just realized I can drink again. I'm not on codeine anymore, or whatever not codeine, oxycodone. I was on oxycodone for a while. But this cup is from Bayview Farm. It's a coffee farm in Kona, Hawaii. Never been to a coffee farm. Didn't really know a whole lot about coffee. Boy, did we learn a lot on that day. And that was part of an 11-hour bus tour where we went all the way around the island and stopped at points of interest. Something interesting that I found out yesterday. In fact, let me pull it up because I found out that yesterday, or over the last couple of days, wait a minute, did I bookmark? Yes, I did. I bookmarked that. So let's look this up. So we went and visited a volcano while we were on the Big Island of Hawaii. And it's one of the United States' most active volcano. And let's see, what's here? And I just found out that the volcano that we were at is spewing lava again. We were here. I was here on this volcano right there. See those pictures of the lava spewing? I was there. Let's see. The Kilauea volcano is erupting approximately 3:15 Hawaii Standard Time on September 10th, 2023. Oh, wait a minute. That was the USGS Hawaiian Volcano Observatory observed eruptive activity within the crater on Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. Current info. We were at this volcano. Now, it wasn't spewing lava at the time, but it was all those steam vents were venting. And I was like, damn, I wish we'd have been there when it was, doing this. Because you can watch this. It's not they say it's not a danger point right now, so people can watch it. Obviously, they're taking video of it right there. But when we were there, it was all the steam vents were steaming. Not realizing that it had basically erupted not too much earlier. Well, now it's erupting again. So that would have been a cool thing to see, I guess. It would have been scary too, I suppose. But so anyway, I was there at Kilauea, which is again one of the most active volcanoes in the United States. So I just thought that was pretty cool. I forgot to tell my wife about that yesterday. So that's breaking news for me. Maybe I'll do this. I'm going to put that in the links today too. Let me do that before I move on, just so that you can view the pictures of the volcano. So anyway, but we went to this coffee farm in Kona, which is one of the best coffee growing regions in the world. They have about 8 miles strip around, one of the volcanoes there. And it's at probably from about 1,000 feet to around 2,000 feet are just ideal growing conditions for coffee, perfect amount of rain. And it's just, they make some of the best coffee, roast some of the best coffee in the world. But we went to this coffee farm and I didn't realize that, the little berries that the coffee comes from the seed of the berry of the coffee plant. And if you take one of those little berries, you can chew the berry and it's like a fruit. Coffee's a fruit, and the bean is the seed. So they use this process for stripping all the fruit off the seeds because there's not very much fruit on a coffee berry, and it was actually it was kind of tasty little fruit, but it would take too long to eat. You can't imagine how many of those you'd have to chew on to get enough coffee. So they just have a process, but and it's interesting too. In Hawaii, in the Kona region, anyone can go harvest coffee. What they have in most of the farms there, they need labor of people to harvest the coffee, the little fruit seed things. And so, basically, if you live on the Big Island and you just need some cash, you can just go grab a bag at a farm, pick up, you get paid per the 100 pounds. And I can't remember what it was. They pay you per 100 pounds. But, for every bag of coffee you fill, anyone can just go there and they'll pay you to harvest the beans, seeds, fruits, whatever. So, now we didn't do it because it takes a while to harvest 100 pounds of coffee. But yeah, so there's people who do that. And a lot of times, kids who need, in the summer or off school time and whatever will go harvest coffee beans and whatnot. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's just, no, it's not free labor on the farm tour in the form of tourism. So we did not harvest any coffee beans. So, but we did buy some coffee. We bought a whole bunch of coffee while we were there. And some of it we had to have shipped. We bought so much. But anyway. All right, let's say hi to everybody and get the show on the road here. First, over in the chat. I'm drinking lemonade, by the way. But I might put some booze in it because I can drink again because I'm not on oxycodone. I doubt it. I don't think I'm going to do that. Although it will help me sleep. Anyway, let's say hi to everybody. First in the chat on Rumble. Mr. Avocado Dabbling gets the bell. Thank you for being here. Also, good morning, Mike Savage, Blarg. And that's it. That's everybody who is deemed to say something on Rumble. There's 5 people watching over there. I'm going to keep it going, though, because I want people to watch on Rumble, too. That's the alternate site. If we should have problems on YouTube, you will always be able to find me on Rumble. And then I'll probably add another alternate site if, during those times where I'm not on YouTube. But if you want to watch replays, you can watch replays on YouTube, Rumble, and Odyssey. So, over on YouTube, first the chat's also Avocados Diaboli doing double duty. Also, good morning, Jim Beam. Nice to have you back. Jimmy Does Hotep is back. Nice to have you here, sir. Also, good morning, Unacceptable Views. One of my many Canadian friends. Good morning, Mike Savage, Blarg. Jimmy Doss is over on the Rumble link. Yes, he's over there too. I just saw you pop up. Good morning, Mike Savage, Blarg. I already said that. Good morning, Tyler F., Aaron Meredith. Robert Gruber's back. Nice to have you. The Grand Inquisitor, Taya Alexander. That's so weird. Good morning, Rotten Corpse. How you doing, brother? Jaeger Pony, my favorite Canadian, is in the house. Also, who's there? Simon Wilkins. What's up, Simon? How you doing? Why it's pretty light today. I'm not understanding it, but that's okay. But again, thank you, Tosh and Kev, for subscribing. I don't think you're here. You probably just watched one of my video over there in the other spot. And but that's it. So for some reason, we're light today. Maybe the notifications didn't go out. I don't know. We'll find out. Let's check the notifications here if anyone said hi or whatever. Thank you, Tyler Left and Simon Bull Nation, for dropping the links over on X, the formerly known as Twitter. Let's see. And Jaeger Pony also, thank you for well, you liked it, I see. Share the stream right now. If you're thinking about it, share the stream. Let's get some people over here. Good morning, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
And Jen T is in the hizzo. Jen T Maxey. All right. So today it's Twitter Tuesday because X Tuesday does not have the correct alliteration. So we're gonna just go through a few things I found on Twitter, and then I'm gonna get out of here. I'm not gonna ramble on a long time today, like I did yesterday, because I got shit to do. But I wanted to make sure I got a show in. So here we go. First, well, look, I already did this, but I'll show it to you again on the link. And these will all be in the links today. So every day during the show, I put the links at the end of the show of what we did and what, made stuff. These are stuff you want to go back to. If you make videos or write something, there's all these articles and links and whatever will be in a single link called the One Tab link. It'll be in the description. Oops. It'll be in the description. And I will put it in the chat during the outro. There are 24. Let's see here. There are 24 roads that go over the Humber River. If you count Albion Road twice because it goes over in two different locations. Plus, there's 20 pedestrian bridges, so 44 places that crosses. What is the Humber River? I'm not really sure what that is. And am I missing something here? Someone's talking about Paley's time of the month. And you see one orifice spewing shit that will melt your skin. You see them all. Oh, okay. You guys are talking about you're talking about the volcano. Simon, what are you talking about? What's the Humber River? Is that a lava flow that I don't know about? I don't know. Anyway, you'll tell me in a minute. So here's, like I said, we already talked about the volcano here, which Kilauea, and man, I wish it would have been cool to see that live. So, and then let's move on. Also in the new, and it's, by the way, it is National Video Game Day. Now I took a chance by clicking that before I scrolled. So let's scroll a little bit, just make sure I don't get any boobs, butts, or penises on my screen, because no, anyway, apparently it's National Video Games Day. They'll make a day out of anything, right? I'm sure the industry came up with this shit, but who knows? Oh, the Humber River is here in Kanadistan. Got it. Why are we talking about it though? Did I miss something? Which is fine. I don't care. Y'all can talk about whatever you want in the chat. I'm just curious. Is there something news about the Humber River though? Anyway. Good morning. And by the way, good morning, Stan Ulch. Nice to have you here. Welcome. So, but yes, it's National Video Game. So I implore you, if you are celebrating National Video Game Day, go check out Tyre Alexander's channel, because he games on YouTube a little bit. And I don't know. I was lurking over there the other day, Tyre, when you were. I don't remember what you're playing. But if you're into that, Tyre, check out Tyre's channel. Next, let's see. In the news, Donald Trump has asked a judge to recuse herself from the 2020 election case. So, former President Donald Trump filed a motion Monday asking the judge hearing his 2020 election interference case to recuse herself. Now, there ain't no chance in hell, because they want to get him out the paint. But the filing argues that Judge Tanya Chutkan, an Obama appointee, should recuse herself from the case, alleging she suggested elsewhere that Trump should be prosecuted and imprisoned. Now, there is actually some documentation of her saying this. It cites comments made in a case she heard in October 2022 involving a January 6th defendant, as well as a case she heard in 2021. Quote, such statements made before this case began and without due process are inherently disqualifying, the filing notes. Although Judge Chutkan may genuinely intend to give President Trump a fair trial and may believe that she can do so, her public statements unavoidably taint these proceedings regarding that outcome. The filing quotes a portion of the sentencing transcript for a case involving a January 6th defendant, Christine Priola. Quote, the people who mobbed that Capitol were in loyalty to one man, not the Constitution, of which most of the people who come before me seem woefully ignorant, not to the ideals of this country and not to the principles of democracy. Chutkin said, according to the court filing, it's a blind loyalty to one person who, by the way, remains free to this day. Seems like she wants to put him away. Sounds like it. Trump's lawyers argue the statement's meaning is inescapable. President Trump is free but should not be. On another occasion, in December 2021, Chutkin told the January 6th defendant Robert Scott Palmer, quote, you have made a very good point, one that has been made before, that the people who exhorted you and encouraged you and rallied you to go to and take action and to fight have not been charged. According to the filing, the issue of who has or has not been charged is not before me. Should continue according to the sentencing transcript. I do not have any influence on that. I have my opinions, but they are not relevant. So Trump is indicted on August 1st, blah, blah, blah. So I predict she's not going to recuse herself, and it might require some kind of a panel. If so, wait, what's Lord Stanhope? Good morning, by the way. What are we talking about here? One Mark doesn't pursue the room. Okay, I don't even know idea. But hello, Lord Stanhope. So that's in the news. Also in the news, Democrats are mad. They are mad at Glenn Youngkin. We talked about Glenn Youngkin pardoning the father of the grape victim in London County at the London County School Board, and they're mad. The Soros-funded prosecutor calls the pardon unprecedented and inappropriate intervention even. The Virginia Democrats in London County, George Soros-backed prosecutor lashed out at Governor Glenn Youngkin over his Sunday pardon of Scott Smith, whose daughter had been sexually assaulted in the worst possible way in school, and the prosecutor, Bhuta Bibraj, personally sought to put in jail. Bibraj said Youngkin's pardon, quote, is an unprecedented and inappropriate intervention into an active legal case, and said he was taking action not for justice but for political gain. Look, this guy should not be prosecuted. What are you talking about? This is nonsense. That whole thing where they are arresting parents for speaking at open meetings that are public meetings, and the altercation that happened there wasn't because of him. It was somebody who attacked him, and they took him out in handcuffs. So anyway, so that's the words of Scott. Said the action is not for justice or for political gain. Scott Suravel, the vice chairman of the Democratic Senate caucus, and Youngkin said Youngkin's pardon was an abandonment of law and order intended to help his failing presidential ambitions. Well, I don't know. Is he running for president? No one's voting for him for president this time or next time. Maybe 12 years down the road. I don't know. Anyway, Smith was set to face his second trial this month for the crime of cursing at a leftist activist. Oh my God, he swore! Who said she didn't believe his daughter was, that bad thing that you forcibly do shit to somebody. Smith was arrested after a police officer grabbed him from behind as he was exchanging words with activist Jackie Schwarm, leading to a televised tussle with the police. But the resisting arrest charge was thrown out, meaning Smith was being prosecuted solely for an angry exchange of words. Holy shit. That could have gone all the way to the Supreme Court. What a waste of time even prosecuting that. So here's Bhuta Barrage. Here's what the Bhuta Barrage, the prosecutor, said. This political stunt by Governor Youngkin is an unprecedented, inappropriate intervention into an active legal case. He chose to intervene in the legal process, but not for justice, but for political gain. Maybe he just thought it was a stupid case, and I don't care. He doesn't deserve to be prosecuted. If the governor truly believed that the evidence would show that the Republican sheriff lied about the facts and wrongly arrested Smith, wait a minute. Arrested him for what? Because obviously the resisting arrest charge was thrown out, right? So you're arresting him for having an argument with somebody? Is it illegal to have an argument with somebody? This is the dumbest prosecution I ever heard. Or that the magistrate wrongfully issued arrest warrant, said that the Republican special prosecutor was wrongfully prosecuting him. Youngkin would have permitted the case to go to trial and let the truth be told. No, because look, you're making this guy go through the justice system, whether it's, I don't care who's prosecuting. You're making him pay for a lawyer, and you're just harassing the man. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, this is the system. This is the system. American justice system does not work when a governor becomes judge and jury. With early voting less than 2 weeks away, the governor's decision to issue a pardon is an intentional attempt to influence the elections. I will proudly stand with law enforcement to ensure that they protect our citizens. Protect them from what? Having an argument? There was no physical interaction between the people having the argument. The tussle was when they decided to arrest the man for having an argument. The worst you could have would be a misdemeanor disturbing the peace or something. You got to be kidding me. Despite Smith having committed no apparent crime, police apprehended him from behind, saying his body language suggested it might escalate. Oh, so this is Minority Report now. Gotcha. You can glean the future from the current exchange of argument. Holy shit. Young pardon stated that these officers determined Smith committed no crime and called into question the integrity of the prosecution. Now, State Delegate Candy Mundon King, a black Democrat representing Stafford and Prince William counties, said on X, quote, "Didn't law enforcement make these charges? Guess he doesn't back the blue as much as we thought." Oh, you want to make some racist shit into it? So anyway, and then Biberaj, the county or whatever attorney, ran on a platform lamenting over incarceration and has refused to prosecute many misdemeanors. Democrats claiming to want to stop people from being arrested for minor crimes in schools, even passed a law that, quote, eliminates the requirement that school principals report to law enforcement certain enumerated acts that may constitute a misdemeanor offense. So it's, you can protest, but you cannot protest for the wrong cause. So there you go. Good on Glenn Youngkin. I don't care if it was a political move or not. The man should not be prosecuted. All right, moving on. We talked about New Mexico and their concealed carry ban, which pretty much only affects the county where Albuquerque lurks. Well, there's more news on that. The governor, one of the New Mexico the sheriff of that county, said Governor Grisham's concealed carry ban is unconstitutional, and therefore he will not be enforcing it. Now, there's an article here. I'm just going to show you the video of him explaining his position here. Whoops, I got that in the wrong order. There we go. Here is Bernalillo County Sheriff John Allen, who says he refuses to enforce Governor Lujan Grisham's order banning the carry of weapons in Albuquerque.
Let me be clear. I hold my standards high, and I do not or never will hedge on what is right. And I take my oath seriously.
Good for you, sir.
In reference to concealed carry and open carry, the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office will not enforce this segment of the order.
Good.
I understand the urgency. The temporary ban challenges the foundations of our Constitution.
It does.
But most importantly, it is unconstitutional.
It is.
My oath was to protect the Constitution, and that is what I will do.
Damn right.
The governor made it clear in her press conference. She knew we as law enforcement did not agree with the order.
Yeah, because they were there. In fact, here's the other thing. Here's the thing. This sheriff was at the press conference where she announced this too, because he doesn't have an issue with the governor, but he thinks this is wrong, and so they're not going to enforce it.
Other than this ban being unconstitutional, here are other reasons why we'll not enforce the order. One, what many forget is I have enough violence here in Bernalillo County. I do not want to have political violence towards my deputies or here in Bernalillo County.
Good for you.
My job is to keep the peace,
Ding.
to make sure that the citizens of Bernalillo County are safe, and I do not believe that this order will help me do so. I'm a law enforcement professional. This order will not do anything to curb gun violence other than punish law-abiding citizens
Damn right.
from their constitutional right to self-defense. Let me give you a personal story. Last week, as I'm sitting here as the sitting sheriff, I get a phone call that my brother also was a victim of gun violence last week that many of you do not know. While he and my nephew were sitting in their car, they were shot at and their vehicle was impacted by numerous rounds. How can I, as a sheriff, tell him to put his firearms away and not be able to protect himself?
Damn.
I have a fact for you. Criminals do not follow the law or public health orders.
Yes.
Never seen it. We will never see criminals follow the law. Once again, this only punishes law-abiding citizens.
Right, Ed, I see you. All right, so there you go. That's Bernalillo County Sheriff John Allen, who's not going to enforce an unconstitutional decree, basically, because again, the governors are finding ways around their constitution and law by claiming an emergency order. And this was an emergency order by the New Mexico Department of Health, calling it a health calling gun violence a health emergency. Well, gun violence is not a health emergency. Medical attention doesn't equate to health. A health emergency is disease or something like that, and this ain't it. And so, and either way, it is unconstitutional. So kudos to that man. More power to you. You're a great American. All right, moving on. Breaking news in Minnesota, and this is happening also in Georgia, and I'm sure it's coming to a state near you, it's particularly left-leaning states. A group of Minnesotans have filed a lawsuit seeking to block Donald Trump from appearing on the ballot. So here's it's really small print, so I'm going to blow it up here, hopefully, so I can read it. Free speech for people on behalf of a diverse group of Minnesota voters. This is going to be good. I want to go through this because they're going to talk about the insurrection. Something called, now they led by, here's the group. It's called Free Speech for People, a nonpartisan legal advocacy organization. And the lawsuit argues that the former president is disqualified from holding public office under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment for his role in inciting and facilitating the January 6th insurrection. Free speech for people. They're using a name that you hear the words free speech, and you go, oh yeah, this is the group we're gonna go for. But for people, I doubt it. I'm pretty sure they were not nonpartisan. They'll pretend to be nonpartisan, but they're not. Free speech for people on behalf of a diverse group of Minnesotans, meaning anybody but, never mind, I won't say it. Filed for legal challenge today to bar Donald Trump. Hello, Trippy, by the way. Trippy Liberty's in the house. Donald Trump from appearing on the state's presidential ballot in 2024. The petition argues Trump is disqualified from holding public office under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, also known as the Insurrection Disqualification Clause, for his role in inciting and facilitating the violent insurrection at the Capitol on January 6, 2021. How you facilitate? I don't know. Enacted in the wake of the Civil War, Section 3 of the 14th Amendment disqualifies from public office any individual who has taken an oath to uphold the U.S. Constitution but then engages in insurrection or rebellion against the United States. Well, that didn't happen. There was a riot, but that wasn't engaging in insurrection. It wasn't even a riot because there was no plan to rebel. It was just it was a protest, and they were supposed to go in and show your senators how you feel, right? And it just turned into a shit show because some dickheads. Good morning, Kay. How you doing? Hello, and selected boys in the house.
Yeah, boy.
So, then they continue. Or gives aid and comfort to its enemies. No prior criminal conviction is required. Yes. Oh, it's not. Really? That's interesting. That's interesting. So wouldn't any of the people who, by their standard, okay, any of the people who tried to thwart the 2016 election by objecting to it would also be disqualified for office then? I will call that an insurrection. The several Democrats conspired to thwart the election results in 2016. That, to me, is an insurrection also. Just saying. Anyway, Trump's involvement in the violent attack. Well, he wasn't involved in the violent attack on Congress to prevent the certification of election results, which resulted in the disruption of the peaceful transfer of power. It did not result in the disruption of the peaceful transfer of power either. Okay. The vote was held that day, and the peaceful transfer of power went as scheduled on January 20th, 2021. So they got a problem there too. For the first time in nation history, disqualifies him from holding any future public office. State election officials do not need permission from Congress to enforce the insurrection disqualification clause. I beg to differ. Just as they do not need congressional approval to enforce the U.S. Constitution in general. Donald Trump violated his oath of office and incited a violent insurrection and attacked the U.S. Capitol. No, he didn't. God, shut up. And he's threatening the assassination of the vice president and congressional leaders. Oh my God. Oh my God. Good morning, Somnable Nation. Oh my. Oh, you mean with the fake gallows that were, not even long enough for a midget or a small person, whatever the hell we call them now. Just short people. Wasn't even long enough for short people. Threatened the assassination of Vice President and disrupted the peaceful transfer of power for the first time. It did not disrupt the peaceful transfer of power. Did it? That was on January 20th. There's no transfer of power on January 6th. And this is said Ron Fine, legal director of the Free Speech for the People. Our predecessors understood that oath-breaking insurrectionists will do it again and worse if allowed back into power. So they enacted the insurrection disqualification clause to protect people from people like Trump. Trump is legally barred from the ballot, and election officials must follow this constitutional mandate. I think that this is going to go to the Supreme Court. Although I don't know, it may not go past the Court of Appeals. Anyway, the 14th Amendment is clear. Anyone who swears an oath to uphold the Constitution and then engages in insurrection is barred from ever holding office again, said Minneapolis attorney Charlie Noun of Lockridge, Grinwall Noun, which is serving as co-counsel for Free Speech for the People. For the petitioners, we are asking the Minnesota Supreme Court to rule that under the United States Constitution, Donald Trump is barred from the ballot. I don't know if they can do that. That's still it's the 100% federal office. And I don't think it's their jurisdiction. That's another problem they have. Petitioner David Tull, a 22-year veteran of the Minnesota National Guard, explained, I swore an oath to support and defend the Constitution. I firmly believe this petition is keeping with that oath. Donald Trump engaged in an insurrection. He did not. In an effort to overthrow our democracy. False. He was demanding that democracy be done right. That's interesting. We must enforce the Constitution to make this plan. And then they got a bunch of other people. The petition. Okay, let's look here. The petition details the multiple actions taken by Trump to overturn the results of the 2020 election, starting with widespread claims of election fraud. That's okay. Not illegal to claim election fraud. And repeatedly urging former Vice President Mike Pence to reject the electoral certification of the results before and during January 6th attack. That's not illegal. That's, there's questions of whether that's constitutional or other. Wow, someone's sucking from the media spoon. Are you talking about me or the people reading this? I'm not sure. Hello, grandfathered sin. Welcome to the show. Appreciate you. Oh, I see what you're saying. These people. Yeah, definitely. These people are definitely sucking from the media spoon. Let's see what else they say he did. So urging former Vice President Mike Pence to reject the certification results before, during, and blah. It also describes the ways in which Trump incited his supporters, many of whom were armed. What were they armed with? Just curious. What were they armed with? Hello, Cannibalistic Wizard. What's up? What were they armed with, you morons? You, again, yeah, this is, okay, now I understand the sucking from the media spoon. And whom he knew to be armed. No! There is no way for him to know that they were armed. That's a lie. That's a flat out lie. And, to march to the Capitol and fight like hell. Fight. You ever seen that video on Rakita's stream? Or it's of all the Democrats using the word fight? Bullshit. You left out the part to go peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard. That's what his exact words were. Oh my gosh. When Trump was prevented from engaging in the Capitol attack himself, he stationed himself in the White House dining room and refused to call off his supporters for more than 3 hours as they violently attacked members of the Capitol Police and forced members of Congress into hiding while invading the building. False. He put out more than, for 2 tweets for sure, early within it, but they were taken down by Twitter, probably at the urging of Nancy Pelosi's office, I would guess. Let's see. Congress over a dozen and forced members of Congress into hiding while invading the building. Congress over a dozen federal judges, Trump's own Department of Justice, and his personal defense lawyer have all characterized the attack as an insurrection. No! CNN's Anderson Cooper characterized the attack as an insurrection, and everyone started using that language from that point on. It was very well planned out language used, orchestrated, whatever. This is nonsense. I don't care how many people called it an insurrection. It's irrelevant. And judges hearing January 6th related cases have repeatedly assigned responsibility for that insurrection to Donald Trump. Yes, the DC judges, who obviously Chutkin has made it clear that she thinks Donald Trump should be prosecuted and in jail. Well, I'm disqualifying her too. Free speech for the people filed similar charges in 2022 against Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene and lost, and former North Carolina Congressman Madison Cawthorn for their role in the January 6th insurrection, although those challenges did not result in disqualification. Yeah, there you go. You've tried it already and it failed because they're not disqualified. You're full of shit. Cawthorn because he lost his primary while challenging was pending. Greene because the judge found insufficient factual evidence that she personally had engaged in the insurrection. They set important legal precedents that lays the groundwork for this challenge, including that states have legal authority to adjudicate Section 3 challenges, and that state processes for adjudicating Section 3 challenges do not violate a candidate's constitutional right. Now here's the problem though. Those cases, neither of which were fully federal offices. Yes, the offices themselves are federal, but the rules for Congress, you're putting the rules in for your state in particular. I don't know. Maybe they have. I don't know if they have a point there or not. But and that no prior criminal conviction required under Section 3 challenge. Yeah, but they lost. There's a reason they lost. They both lost. You lost the case to get them thrown off the ballots, or her thrown off the ballot. It doesn't mean, yeah, you could file a case in any kind of situation. Now but if it gets thrown out by the court, it's lost. It doesn't mean that. What do they say here? They said an important legal precedent lays the groundwork for this challenge, including that states have the legal authority to adjudicate Section 3. Well, but yeah, you can adjudicate it and you lose. That's the precedent, you dumbasses. That don't or disrupt constitute engaging insurrection, and that an 1872 congressional amnesty for ex-Confederates does not apply to January 6th. Okay, whatever. This is the dumbest shit I ever heard. Thank you. All right, we'll get it here. Good morning, Gunfox and Gunfox. My gosh, you are got me going. Well, Gunfox, let me real quick. Thank you for sponsoring the show, and you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day, dropping dimes in the tip jar. Thank you, sir. Why did only 2 show up in the sponsor of the day though? It says 20, and there's actually 30. Dropping 3 Hamiltons in the tip jar. Let's see what Gunfox put in before I move ahead here real quick. Thank you, sir. Greatly appreciated. If you want to drop articles, drop a deuce or more in the tip jar, and we'll read whatever you have and call it breaking news. Here's some breaking news. Oh, why do you, Gunfox? Damn it. Okay, now listen. First of all, when you bring me articles straight from MSNBC, I get concerned. What standing do citizens of Minnesota have to petition anything from the state of Georgia? Well, I don't understand that one either. Maybe they just did a friend of the court brief or some shit. I don't know. That seems weird to me too. So let's okay. Here's what Gunfuck sent me. Sent me 3 articles. We'll go through them real quick. New York Democrats are sounding a lot like Staten Island Republicans. Well, yes, that'd be. We talked about Mayor Adams the other day. Between Eric Adams and Kathy Hochul, there's not much praise about the response to upswing in migrants arriving in New York City. This is an MSNBC opinion writer. And I bet he's just crying in his soup right now. Here, let me take a sip here. Okay. Staten Island is often an outlier among New York City's 5 boroughs. It is the second largest geographically, but the least populated. It has the second highest median income among the boroughs, but its heavily suburban neighborhoods are disconnected from the city's subway system and other amenities. Where most of the city is awash in Democratic votes, Staten Island is a Republican enclave. For those reasons and more, it's unsurprising that there's been a major increase in anti-immigrant sentiment. You lying motherfuckers. It's not anti-immigrant sentiment, assholes. It's anti-illegal immigrants sentiment, which everyone should have. You should all be saying anti-illegal immigration. Immigrants, bring them on. Bring on the legal immigrants. You know, when we need, tech people or whatever, people want to live here and want to love America, bring them on. People crossing our border illegally, fuck off. Hello, Chad. What's up? Nice to see you, brother. Nice to have you here. All right, hit the button. There we go. Chad Lemoyne in the house. All right. So, so I'll just say it again. It is unsurprising that there's been a major increase in anti-illegal immigrant sentiment on the island as New York has seen an uptick in migrant arrivals over the past year. The surge and the associated protests would be easy to write off if they were limited to Staten Island or even if they were concentrated more in conservative areas upstate. But instead, we're seeing a similar distrust and dismay with the growing number of migrants in the city and beyond from New York Democrats. Also, so the New York Democrats are starting to see the light. Good for them. New York City Mayor Eric Adams provided a chilling example in his comments at a chilling. Wait a minute. I can't do this. New York City Mayor Adams providing a chilling example in his comments at a town hall on Wednesday. Never in my life have I had a problem that I did not see an ending to. I don't see an ending to this, he told the crowd at a town hall in Upper West Side. I don't see an ending. Yeah, because until Biden is gone and there's someone else who gives a shit about the border, you're going to keep getting a share, although even though Biden's trying to keep them all in Texas now. We talked about that. All right, so Adams, a former Republican who made similar comments before the influx of migrants, he spent the last year railing against Texas Governor Abbott's policy of busing migrants from the border to northern, even Democrat-controlled cities. The mayor's comments on Wednesday were no different on that front. He referred to Abbott as a madman down in Texas. Well, motherfucker, that's where they're coming in the over the border the most. And so you think that New York City or El Paso should be able to handle them better than New York City? Or the big, what do you call them? What do you call the asylum cities, whatever they call them. Let's see. He referred to Abbott as a madman down in Texas, but the idea that the newly arrived migrants mean that the city we knew we're about to lose, as he put it Wednesday, was a serious escalation of his rhetoric, both in terms of pessimism and, perfect xenophobia. Come on. It's not xenophobia. It's not xenophobia of who? Because these migrants crossing our border are from different places all over the world. What do you mean xenophobia? Seriously. Oh my God. Gunfox, you do what you're doing here. And earned him a deserved condemnation from the Legal Aid Society of the Coalition for the Homeless. Really? The Coalition for the Homeless is supporting the migrants that are being housed and clothed at sometimes $6,000 a month in the empty hotel rooms in New York City? The Homeless Coalition is concerned about the migrants who are being given better care than the homeless in New York City? Is that what, really? Are they? Did they? Oh my goodness. Goodness gracious. Sanctuary cities. Thank you. My brain wasn't working. It's true that the city resources have been stretched in providing shelter and support for more than 100,000 new arrivals, including more than 58,000 asylum seekers. Fake asylum seekers. Thank you. They're not asylum seekers. They just look. You know, there's people on the other side of the Mexican border from the United States that go down there and tell these people how they can basically jank the system. They tell them, you know what? Don't say you're here to get jobs. Say you're having an asylum, okay? This is apply to be an asylum seeker. Now they're rejecting a lot of those cases, but a lot of them don't show up, okay? And they're talking about giving them ankle bracelets and cell phones and all this shit so they can show up for their hearings. Except a lot of them are off in other cities. And they look, if I was an illegal migrant, illegal immigrant, whatever, and I came across the border and I had to agree to wear an ankle bracelet as a tracker to know where I am, and you take the cell phone or whatever. You know how fast, once I got out of that office, that ankle bracelet would be in the garbage? Come on, man. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Anyway, Adams has repeatedly called for increased financial support from New York State and the White House in response, and issued flyers discouraging more migrants from coming to the city. Good. How about discouraging them from coming into the country too? Yeah, send your whatever. You don't have a National Guard. I don't know what. Go help the Texans. Go help Governor Abbott, and he will make sure that not more migrants are sent to you. All you mayors complaining about this, saying, "Oh, they're sending them from Texas." I got an idea. Go ask Governor Abbott how we can help stop this flow from across the border, so they don't have to send them to you. That would be a really good idea. Oh, you mean you'd have to go talk to your president and your party to tell them to get his shit together? Come on, man. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
And he sharply criticized New York Governor Kathy Hochul for wanting to limit migrants leaving the city for other parts of the state. So he's mad. They just want him to take it right in the hind part there, right? Because Kathy Hochul wants to limit migrants from leaving the ones that are coming to New York City. She wants to keep them from leaving New York City to be spread out amongst the other towns in New York. which if you can name other than Buffalo and Albany, Syracuse. I guess I know 4 cities in New York off the top of my head: Buffalo, Albany, Syracuse, and New York City. Anyway, so Hochul's administration last month responded to Adams' claims that the state government was holding out on him in a blistering 12-page reply, but the governor hasn't exactly covered herself in glory either. Oh, because she complained about too many migrants being sent to New York? I bet you that's what it is. New York Focus reports that since the state launched an emergency program in the state in June, exactly 0 migrant families have been resettled as of August 29th. Is that how she hasn't covered herself in glory? What are you talking about? And Hochul has consistently underperformed electorally, has been reluctant to force other counties in the state to take in migrants for fear of making herself a target of upstate Republicans. Yeah, because you reap what you sow. Real quick, thank you, Ty Alexander, for sponsoring the show. Appreciate you. Drop it a small bullet in the tip jar. That's be a 223. It's shekels for my favorite old man ranting, and you forgot to mention how Trump had AOC killed. Yes, I know. It's so sad. Thank God our ghost told us about it, or Trump would have gotten away with it. Are they trying to cause balkanization? Because this is how you get balkanization. Yeah, in some ways. By the way, the Trump killing AOC, that's a joke. Are they trying to cause Balkan? I don't know what they're trying. I'm going to just say yes. Yes. Yes, of course. Hi, Dumbbeard. What up? Nice to see you. Hey, we got to get together sometime soon, by the way. I want to meet y'all in person sometime. So we'll talk about that. You can DM me or whatever. And good morning. Those ain't real, dude. Nice to have you in the show. And somebody else show up here. I said, Cannibalistic Wizard. I already said. And Sin was in the house. Okay. So the back and forth has done little to solve problems facing migrants, thousands of whom face a newly imposed deadline to find a replacement shelter after 60 days on city provided. Good. Okay. The person writing this article, I guess this person writing the article thinks we should just take all these people in and house them indefinitely on the government's dime forever. That seems to be the slant on this rant of a opinion piece. Hello, Uncle Bobbity, what's up? Can we build a monorail around the southern border and illegals can travel along the entire Mexico side and be deposited there? Well, we'll figure that out. I don't know. Anyway, by the way, Dumbbeard lives in my city. That's why I said that. We live in the same metropolitan area. They live way on the other side of our metropolitan area, but I've been talking about meeting up with them for a while, in case you're wondering. Okay. Now, they have a survey. A recent survey from Siena College Research Institute found that New York voters disapprove of Hochul's handling of the situation by 51 to 35%. Adams was similarly panned with 40% disapproving of the job he's done to 31% approval. Okay. But what does that mean? Hello, fake news expert. What does that mean? Okay. Is it because they think they're being too harsh, or because they're allowing this, or because they're letting this shit happen? In fact, let's see. So they have, I'm going to put a little poll here. R. Hochul, how do you spell that? Hochul. Doesn't even matter. And Adams, low approval on migrants because too lenient or too harsh. There you go. If you're on YouTube, you can join in the poll. All right. The White House and Adams are still very much at odds with each other. Good. I hope Adams wins. All these Democrats complaining about Texas sending people to your state, you need to get up in Biden's backside. Well, actually, you got to go. Look, actually, you got to get a meeting with his handlers because Biden ain't doing shit. But They're very much at odds, but the Biden administration has been engaging with more with Hulch lady, including promising that September will be a month of action to make migrants who are eligible to work better aware of their status. No, you do no. I got it. Make the migrants go away. Okay, not that they have to work. Get the hearings done and get the ones who are not supposed to be here not here. That's what I say. Yeah, have you ever tried just sending them home? Exactly, Jen. Okay, so the unfortunate truth is any action or inaction on this front is going to draw attacks from GOP. Okay, because they suck. That's your only worry, Hayes Brown. Your only worries is Republicans might pounce. So anyway, thank you, Gunfox, for putting my day in a higher state of blood pressure. Next, he gave me another one here. What's this one? Now, I don't know if this is Brad breaking news. Oh, this is interesting. So again, using an MSNBC article to rankle my feathers. Brad Raffensperger doesn't want to keep Trump off the ballot. Now, we talked about this the other day, too, because there's people in Georgia who are trying to get Trump off the ballot just like they're trying to do in Minnesota. Well, Brad Raffensperger says, no. Why? But Georgia election law. Now, they say, this is an opinion piece saying Georgia election law clearly gives the Secretary of State the power to determine who qualifies to be on the ballot. Really? We've never had a constitutional action on that, have we? Because again, the presidential requirements to be on a ballot are the only one that is strictly, other than age limits or whatever, but strictly a federal office. So I don't know about this. If Georgia election law does give the Secretary of State the power to determine who's on the ballot. Sorry for my Bidening of words there. Yes, Chuck Todd is stepping down. Unfortunately, not down a ladder backwards with blindfold on. Yeah, I don't talk about ladders, Bobby, because my ladder days are far away still. But so just even the word ladder makes me nervous. Anyway, that's because of my hip. You probably understood that. Anyway, this is also Hayes Brown. Oh God, as primary season. What was this from? This is from September 8th. Okay. Anyway. As primary seasons approaches, the question of whether former President Donald Trump could be disqualified under the 14th Amendment has become a major issue. Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger weighed in on Wednesday with an op-ed published in the Wall Street Journal with the headline, "I can't keep Trump off the ballot." I believe he's correct. I don't think that gets to be his determination. That's interesting. Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe the states do have power to determine who's on their own ballots. But it can't be disqualified because of whatever they're saying. Anyway, despite the headline, the Republicans' piece is more about how he shouldn't block Trump and less about whether he could, by arguing that he shouldn't and can't. Raffensperger's wrong on both fronts. Under Georgia law, he doesn't have the power to keep Trump off the ballot. He has the responsibility to do so. Kiss my grits. Okay, so basically this is the same argument that the Minnesota people, what is it, free speech for the people. That's that group that's petitioning in Minnesota. It's basically the same stupid arguments. Now, interesting here, he says Raffensperger, Wall Street Journal essay dismisses invoking that 155-year-old disqualification clause as merely the newest way of attempting to short-circuit the ballot box, adding that historians have questioned whether it was meant as a permanent standard. He chooses not to grapple with the originalist analysis from two conservative legal scholars. Well, now you're going to take on an originalist interpretation when it fits your needs, I take it. That's consistent. That makes the case that Section 3 is very much still in effect. Instead, he focuses almost exclusively on why he feels invoking the disqualification clause would be the real threat to democracy. Yeah, because you're forcing someone not to be able to vote for the person they want to vote for. That is a threat to democracy. Real quick, thank you, John Arnott. I didn't even know you're here. I'm glad you're here, though, sir. Thank you for sponsoring the show. Dropping a Hamilton in the tip jar. for the hip. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'll be honest with you. I need it. So, I still can't go back to work. Although I do go to the doctor Friday, and just to see how my progress, and I think my progress is pretty good. My only problem is stairs, and at UPS I climb a lot of ladders. I'm not doing ladders for a while. So that's probably why I won't be able to go back to work. They said 6 to 8 weeks. I don't think it'll be 8 weeks, but it could be 6. Anyway, appreciate you, John Arnott. You are a great American. Appreciate it. All right. Then he continues. Raffensperger's argument conspicuously lacks specifics about what he thinks prevents him from keeping Trump off the Georgia ballot. He notes that Georgia law contemplates a legal process that must take place before anyone is removed from the ballot. He refers to attempts to block Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia, a Republican from Georgia, and former Representative Matthew Cawthorn. A lot of the same arguments here, which required decisions in the courts, failed, but activists are urging secretaries of states like me to bar Mr. Trump from the ballot. Doesn't seem fair to describe those cases as failures. They're It kind of is, though. Clearly, Marjorie Taylor Greene's case was a failure. All right, this is the last part of this I'm going to read, but it doesn't seem fair to describe these cases as failures. A federal appeals court found that Cawthorn could be barred from holding office under the 14th Amendment, but as he lost his primary race before the ruling, the decision was no longer relevant. So wait a minute. It could be barred if it was adjudicated that way. That doesn't mean that this guy's nuts. A countersuit from Greene in federal court met a similar fate, with a judge determining that an 1872 amnesty law, which Cawthorn also had offered up as a defense, didn't apply to her. That ruling also determined that Section 3 of the 14th Amendment is an existing constitutional disqualification adopted in 1868. Both rulings thus affirm that the 14th Amendment can be used to bar candidates from office. Yes, it could be, if you have a concrete determination that the candidate was involved in an insurrection. But this was not an insurrection. They've twisted the meaning of that word. Though the initial case against Greene went through state-level process that Raffensperger hinted at in his essay, the conclusion reached has no real impact on Trump's likely disqualification or on Raffensperger's obligations. The challenge to Greene's candidacy was filed to Raffensperger's office, which handed the case over to the administrative law judge. That judge found that the challengers hadn't met the burden of proof, as the pro-insurrection sentiments presented at trial were expressed before she had sworn her oath of office. Raffensperger then issued a final decision in the matter, affirming the court's decision and declaring Greene was qualified to run. But a look at Georgia election law shows it didn't have to be that way. Well, wait. Crucially, the law states that candidates who have been named by Georgia political parties or who have submitted their names for candidacy shall meet the constitutional and statutory qualifications for holding public office being sought. She did. That clearly includes the provision of the disqualification clause, which failed, which rightly considered the supreme law of the land in the federal court's Greene decision. Oh my God, the twists and turns that you need to do to make it as though whoever filed the case against Marjorie Taylor Greene lost for a reason. But yes, what they're trying to tell you is that you can disqualify someone by the 14th Amendment, but wouldn't you have to meet all the criteria for that? I don't know. He's saying that the state, so this could happen in all 50 states. So this is another one of those things that the copycat states are all going to try to do this now. They'll all do it right during election season on purpose so that, Trump's tied up in cases, that the 4 cases he's been indicted in. Now he's going to get in all these cases in all these states, trying to impeach him. It's it's an interesting coordinated attempt. Oh, it's just tiring as hell. All right, then the last article Gunfox sent me. Okay, look, the forward-looking Mexicans. Okay, this is also an This is the same guy. No, it's Julio Ricardo Varela. In New Mexico, apparently, there are forward-looking Mexico. The forward-looking Mexico that Republicans dare not talk about. When it comes to respecting the rights of women and valuing them as leaders, Mexico is ahead of the United States. Why? 2 women, Xochitl Galvez and Claudia Sheinbaum, will contest the presidency of Mexico for the first time in 2024. Okay, so who cares? Are there women who could make a good president of the United States? Absolutely. Doesn't mean that we have to. Republican presidential candidates are obsessed with Mexico. Are they? Are they obsessed with Mexico? Ron DeSantis wants to invade it the moment he becomes president. Vivek Ramaswamy wants to use military force to decimate the cartels, Osama bin Laden style, Soleimani style, and of course, former President Donald Trump, the candidate who has made anti-Mexico hate speech the cornerstone of the modern-day GOP, has reportedly conjured up new battle plans against cartels that, according to the report, are not sanctioned by Mexico's government. Good God. The idea of invading Mexico to magically win a war on drugs. Magically? How about physically? How about we maybe there should be a cooperation between the Mexican government and the United States government to squash the cartels. That would be physically, not just magically, but physically defeating them. I don't know. That would have to obviously have the approval of the Mexican government. It'd have to be a cooperative effort. And unfortunately, many people in the Mexican government are being paid off by the cartels, but that's a whole nother story. The idea of invading Mexico to magically win a war on drugs that the U.S. has already lost is supported by 86% of Republican primary voters. I bet it's supported by a large number of Democrats too. So it's no wonder that the candidates are vilifying Mexico to court the GOP's xenophobic base. And geez, they're pulling out all the buzzwords. The backward Mexico that exists in the GOP's fevered imagination is not the country that exists. And at least when it comes to respecting the rights of women and valuing them as leaders, Mexico is ahead of the United States. Great. For the first time ever, the country's 2 major presidential candidates are women. Yay! So, which virtually guarantees it will elect its first woman president in June 2024, months before the U.S., which has never elected a woman president, likely chooses another man. Okay. Former Mexico City Mayor Claudia Sheinbaum, a loyal leftist ally of President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, became the candidate this week for the ruling Morena party. She'll face Senator Xochitl Galvez, who is named the opposition coalition's candidate August 31st. For a country that granted women the right to vote in 1953, 33 years after the United States did, the ascension of women to political leadership is remarkable. Why? Look. Just because women are eligible doesn't mean they have to be. Whatever. The Washington Post noted in a report after Sheinbaum's nomination, a woman is Chief Justice of Mexico's Supreme Court. Women lead both houses of Congress. Women made up 50% of the legislatures in 2021 when Mexico became the largest nation to achieve gender parity. As the Post notes, Mexico is clearly outpacing the United States when it comes to gender equality on political representation. Yeah, how's Mexico doing? Who's fighting the cartels in Mexico? Oh, yeah, Woodcutter. Good morning. This is a feminist dream. Okay, great. What counts as another win for women? This week, Mexico's Supreme Court fully decriminalized abortion across Mexico, as I predicted last year after the U.S. Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito's draft opinion that would overturn Roe v. Wade was leaked. The women's rights movement in Mexico and other parts of Latin America has continued to gain momentum. The U.S., of course, went on to demolish the constitutional right to abortion. Well, there is no constitutional right to abortion. There you go. That Roe v. Wade established. Oh, yeah, because there wasn't one beforehand. Nobody telling how many Mexican citizens have been killed with drugs and guns due to our involvement. Yeah, I tell you. They love the drug trade. That's why Joe Biden gave them guns while he was vice president. Drugs put people in prison, and that's a good investment for politicians. That too. Thank you, Jimmy Das Hotep. Nikki Haley, the only woman running for nomination, has tried to distance herself from the anti-abortion absolutists in her party by offering consensus alternatives, but she's still an abortion opponent, which puts her out of step in a country where polls show there's broad support to make abortion legal nationwide. Broad support? What does that mean? Define broad support. You mean there's a lot of people who support it? Okay. There's a lot of people who support, free Kool-Aid at the, dime stores. Whatever the fuck that means. I made that up. Our southern neighbor has been belittled, ridiculed, targeted, scapegoated for too long, and assuming they want to win a general election, Republicans are playing a dangerous game by doing so. As Pew notes, about 60% of the entire U.S. Latino 60% of the entire U.S. Latino population, about 37.2 people are of Mexican descent. So what? You think these people, these Mexicans who are mostly Catholic, want to transition their kids because the school told them how to? Think about that when you talk about Mexican descent. You mean the Catholics Mexican Catholics who are anti-abortion? Oh, talk about that. Here's to less talk of invasions and more conversations about how Mexico is transforming itself into a champion of gender equality. I'm curious if you really believe that. First of all, there's no such thing as gender equality. Okay, they're different. Men and women are different, and women on average excel at certain things, and men on average excel at certain other things. And there's never going to be gender equality because there's nothing to be equal. I don't want to be equal with anybody. Look, there are things that people are just good at. And until you cannot make people good at or want to do something that they don't want to do. And there are tendency differences between men and women, scientifically. Okay? It doesn't mean that one's better than the other or not. It doesn't mean one's the better than the other or not. Ending the poll, yes, too lenient. Everyone thinks that Hochul and Adams are low approval because it's too lenient. I agree. So this is stupid. This is just dumb. And that's it. Thank you, Gunfox. You made me last here a lot longer than I expected to. I got to wrap this up just going through some of the Twitter bullshit. So thank you, Gunfox, though. I appreciate it. You dropped major dimes in the tip jar, and it's well appreciated because I need the money. Anyway, if you want to sponsor the show, best place to do it is Streamlabs, pdognight.live right here. Okay. Versus YouTube Super Chats or Rumble Rants, more of what you are donating to gets the money versus YouTube that takes about 30% and Rumble takes about 26%. Much lower on Streamlabs. But I understand some people don't like using Streamlabs, concerned about, me knowing your name. I will protect your name, particularly if you use credit cards. But credit cards is the lowest. If you use the credit card versus PayPal, it is definitely the lowest they take out versus YouTube or Rumble. So, all right, where was I? We got to New Mexico. Did we talk about? We talked about that guy. We talked about Minnesota. Now we just have a few short things, and we're going to be out of here. Yesterday, I was telling you about Biden and his speech in, was it in Vietnam? When he was talking, when they were having the press conference, and Biden said, well, I have 5 people I have to take questions from, whatever. And this is the illustration of what I was talking about when I ask who's really in charge at the White House. Joe Biden is the president of the United States, correct? He's the president of the United States. He's the head cheese. He's the big guy. He's the big guy in Hunter Biden's world too. But he's the guy, he's supposed to be in charge, right? Well, listen to this bumbling nonsense.
Let's see. I'm just following my orders here.
He's following his orders. From who? Who's ordering you to do something? Jeff Dunham is in charge. That's true. Obama, yeah.
Staff, if anybody haven't spoken, I ain't calling on you. I'm calling. I said I have 5 questions. Anita, VOA.
So he's taking his questions from. He's not going to take spontaneous questions at these press conferences. He's got a list of people who are going to ask him questions. Now, here's what I'm waiting for. Because obviously his staff is approving the list of people he gets questions from because they know the questions in advance. And so they can maybe put together a note card or some shit like that. Here's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for the day, and it'll happen, when they give him his list and the people that are supposed to ask the questions are ready with their questions because the staff already vetted the questions, maybe already wrote a note card for Joe Biden to answer the question. And one of those people out of the blue asks a completely different question. Okay. Now they would risk their status in the White House press corps because, the handlers don't like it when you fuck with them. But I want to see if they'll let Biden answer the question or if they'll abruptly end the press conference like they often do. And they do not like Biden going off script, because just like his entire political career, when he goes off script, everyone knows Biden's an idiot. Just that. Okay. The cover story today, Colin Kaepernick was trending on Twitter today. And I was just like, oh my God, not again. And the reason Colin Kaepernick was trending on Twitter is because, Aaron Rodgers, in his first, was this his first week 1 of the NFL? Aaron Rodgers, playing for the New York Jets, got hurt, and he may be out for a few months, a few weeks, at least a few weeks. And of course, every time an NFL quarterback goes down, some idiot mentions Colin Kaepernick. Oh, they should pick up Colin Kaepernick. The time it happens to be Jamel Hill, but she's not the only one, but she's a big time advocate for Colin Kaepernick because of the wonderful things he does. And so Jamel Hill wants the Jets to sign Colin Kaepernick to replace Aaron Rodgers. Now the Outkick, where I got the article from, says, oh, he wore socks depicting cops as pigs, compared cops to slave catchers, didn't stand for the anthem, compared the NFL combine to a slave auction. Those are all fine and good, but if he could play football, he would be in the NFL right now. There's a reason he's not in the NFL. Has nothing to do with him kneeling, has nothing to do with him calling people cops pigs, not comparing cops to slave catchers, or not standing for the anthem, or comparing the combine to the slave auction. The reason Joe Biden, sorry. The reason Colin Kaepernick is not in the NFL right now is because he sucks. Okay, look, he got benched by the 49ers. He has very little field awareness. People figured out how to stop Colin Kaepernick. And so they went from, a Super Bowl team to like a 2 and whatever team because Colin Kaepernick, or at least, that's where they benched him. Because every defense in America knows how to defend Colin Kaepernick. All right. So anyway, here's the article from Outkick. Thank you, Jimmy Das Hotep, real quick. Dropping another Hamilton in the tip jar. You are great. Jimmy says, glad that you are back hosting and that you are healing well. Thank you again for checking on little man while you were while you were also down. Yeah, I just want to know. I was hoping that, making sure that eye surgery well. I hope, and I know the recovery time on that is a while, but I sincerely wish things go well for you. You and me are brothers, right? So thank you, Jimmy Hotep. I appreciate it. So anyway, where's the article? What the hell here? Here it is. Here's the article from here's from Outkick, and it's not just Jemele Hill. There's several people bringing up Colin Kaepernick. Although Colin Kaepernick's like 35 now, and Father Time is probably hurting him too. Jemele Hill foolishly suggests the Jets sign Colin Kaepernick. Jemele Hill, she used to be on ESPN. Remember her? Now she's with the Atlantic. That's funny. Wasted no time using Aaron Rodgers' injury to insert Colin Kaepernick into the situation. Rodgers suffered what is believed to have suffered Achilles tendon injury. Oh, he might be out for a while. In Monday night's Week 1 Jets-Bills matchup. It's very likely Rodgers has played his last snap of the season for the Jets, but fans shouldn't panic. Jemele here is here to help. She wants to sign Colin Kaepernick, who was responsible for the national anthem protest that took the league by storm. Yes, her grand plan to replace one of the greatest QBs in the NFL history is for the Jets to sign a guy who last played in 2016. Barack Obama was president during Kaepernick's final season with the 49ers. Yeah, super smart idea to have a guy who hasn't played in years lead the Jets. It makes sense. But there she is. There's a QB right there in New Jersey who took the team to the Super Bowl, an NFC Championship game. Yeah, rhymes with Kaepernick. Look, one-hit wonder. That's all. That's why he didn't start as quarterback. That's why his dispute with his team started. He wanted to be traded. They wouldn't trade him. They wanted him as a backup. He wanted to play. They didn't want to pay him. They just said, you know what? Nope, we're not going to do it. And so that's when he started to kneel. Then when he started to kneel, there was a little backlash from him kneeling and not standing up for the national anthem. And his girlfriend said, well, let's make this about Black Lives Matter. It's all bullshit. It was, and y'all suckers out there ate it up. So there. So anyway, Jemele Hill knows damn well there's absolutely no chance at all an NFL team will sign Kaepernick. Was there perhaps a small window for him to return into the league several years ago? Perhaps, but no QB coming back after 6 seasons out of the league is signing a new deal. That's just not going to happen. Not realistic at all. Of course, Jemele Hill knows that. She just doesn't care. Former SBN talent wants the attention, and she got it. So then they got a list of shit he did. I don't care about the shit he did. All I care about is, unless he killed somebody, but sometimes that doesn't even disqualify you, Ray Lewis. If he could play football, he would be playing football right now. The man cannot play football. If he wants to play football, go play. Okay. Before I say this out loud, I'm sorry to my Canadian friends. If he wants to play football, go try out for the Canadian Football League. Okay, enough of that. Hey, Canadians, I got a question, by the way. In Canadian football, do they still play 3 downs instead of 4 like in American football? Because at Canada, they used to do 3 downs, and they also used to do those like skip passes. Like you could skip a pass off the ground in Canadianville football. Answer me that, Canadians. I'm not sure. Or is Canadian Football League even still going? Oh yes, Jan, you're right. He could. Now, if Colin Kaepernick really wanted to play football, he could transition and play in the lingerie league. Ew. Okay. Ew. All right. Let me finish up the show here. Other things trending today. Kevin McCarthy is trending because not just because a bunch of people, they do that right. Not just because a bunch of people, they occupied his office a couple days ago, which was, if I thought occupying a congressional office, stopping congressional business is called an insurrection. But they're not going to be charged with insurrection. Some of them got arrested for trespassing, but they'll drop all the charges. I guarantee you they'll drop all the charges. No, Kevin McCarthy is trending because the House Republicans, or Kevin McCarthy, announced that he is directing a House committee to open a formal impeachment inquiry, not a trial, but an impeachment inquiry, meaning they're going to start studying it into President Joe Biden. Over the past several months, this is him saying, House Republicans have uncovered serious and credible allegations into President Biden's conduct, a culture of corruption. Now, plenty of people are up in arms both ways on this. Some people are happy, some people are not. But this just happened this morning. Don't let McCarthy's opening impeachment inquiry into Joe Biden stop you from realizing that he only did this because he could feel his seat getting hotter and hotter. Just because Matt Gaetz was planning on teaming with Swalwell doesn't mean this threat was all hot air. Well, here, let's listen to Kevin McCarthy. It's only a few minutes long. Let's see if we can listen to this.
We were gone in the weeks. House Republicans have uncovered serious and credible allegations into President Biden's conduct. Taken together, these allegations paint a picture of a culture of corruption. Now, here's what we know so far. Through our investigations, we have found that President Biden did lie to the American people about his own knowledge of his family's foreign business dealings. Eyewitnesses have testified that the president joined on multiple phone calls and had multiple interactions. Dinners resulted in cars and millions of dollars into his son's and his son's business partners. We know that bank records show that nearly $20 million in payments were directed to the Biden family members and associates through various shell companies. The Treasury Department alone has more than 150 transactions involving the Biden family and other business associates that were flagged as suspicious activity by U.S. banks.
Okay, so he's just going over the reasons. So anyway, acquire just means they're going to investigate it now, and make a determination whether that they should do this. Now, what's interesting to me, because some people are getting all huffy and puffy. Oh, if you're gonna inquire into Joe Biden, well, what about Trump's kids, Ivanka and Jared Kushner, getting $2 billion from the Saudi, whatever, and this business and that business. This is different. This is, while he was the vice president, allegedly, he used his position to get money for his son and his own personal benefit, and has been claiming he did not for years. Okay, that's the evidence that they're trying to find. And what's crazy about it is I've never seen. Well, yes, I have. I shouldn't say. I was going to say I've never seen the media so incurious about corruption in the White House or somebody. But I that's a lie, or not. It's a lie. It's a misstatement, because they always seem incurious when it's a Democrat. Okay. They were so incurious. I mean, the Fast and Furious stuff, they say, there's still people saying that there were no scandals during the Obama administration. Oh, really? Fast and Furious. And I mean, there's all kinds of, I could give you a list of the corruption. But they'll say, oh, no corruption. And if this was Trump, if Trump, was president, and then all of a sudden his son's getting deals because with him traveling with them to these places and talking to the business people, whatever, the media would be interested in the story, but the media seems to be completely away from the story. Now, there's hints that they're starting to turn around, and it may just be because they're starting to want Biden out of the paint too. But it's crazy how little the media covers this, and not just covers it. It's crazy how little the media is investigating it. They've got all these pieces that the Republicans are putting out there. The part about all the shell companies and all the payments that are going through these shell companies that end up in Biden's pocket, and they're not. Why aren't they investigating it? Where's 60 Minutes on this? It's insanity, and it's just crazy. The left uses smear whataboutism to stifle debate, so the right can go now use not aboutism when the left brings up the counterpoints that have nothing to do with the debate at hand. Yes, Bobby, exactly. So anyway, it's just maddening. So, all right, let's move on because I want to get out of here. Elon Musk is a traitor is trending. Okay. So I'm sure most of you may have heard about this, but there's some people really angry. See, when the Ukraine and Russian war started, Elon Musk offered the use of Starlink to Ukraine for free for communications and just communications. Okay. And apparently recently, he figured out that the Starlink, allowing Starlink in certain areas was also being used by the Ukrainians as a tool of war, as to be able to launch attacks and whatnot. So Elon Musk said, no, my condition is that you cannot use this for offensive causes or whatever. And so he disabled Starlink in certain areas of physical Ukraine, right? And now there's people, who, again, he's giving this shit away for free. And there's people out there now calling him a traitor because he won't allow them to use it to do offensive moves against Russia. And so it's interesting. Let's see. Elon Musk is a traitor. They're calling it, and this person's calling him a war criminal. Of course, they got a Ukraine flag in their bio. So here it is. Here's one of the explanations of why they think that Elon Musk is a traitor or a war criminal. Now, a war criminal, because he's not giving them something for free, he's a war criminal. Okay, now let's see what this explanation says. Okay, I don't know what this means. That's some inflammatory shit, right? Look, this is, again, he's giving them shit for free. Okay, they're saying turn it off. He can't do the offensive. Now they're saying they're claiming it's defensive, but they've been using Starlink to do strategic offensive shit. But it's like, why? First of all, how would that be being a war criminal? If they want their own Starlink, they should develop and have their own Starlink. Or all this money the United States is giving Ukraine, couldn't they buy some form of internet access? I don't know. And also, so this person, Elon Musk, you can be a proud traitor to the USA. I'm sorry, is this our war? These people are acting like we're at war with Russia. That's not being a traitor to the USA. It's embarrassing. Walter Isaacson, the author and journalist, in his biography of Elon Musk, writes that last year the businessman shut down Starlink to prevent Ukraine's attack on Russia's navy stationed in Crimea. He was concerned about retaliatory nuclear strike. Yeah. Okay. If what Isaacson has written in his book is true, then it looks like Musk is the last adequate mind in North America, or at the very least, in gender-neutral America, he is the one with the balls. Okay. That sounds, I don't know, does that make sense? It is unfair. I have to take side in this war, so I will take Russia's side and protect its fleet from drones by limiting Starlink around the Russian ships shooting missiles at Ukraine apartment buildings, hospitals, schools. That's not a quote. That's a fake quote. That's a fake quote. He did not say that. I'm a citizen of the United States, and I have only that passport. No matter what happens, I will fight and die for America. The United States Congress has not declared war on Russia. If anyone's treasonous, it's those who call me as such. Please tell them that very clearly. I'll give him a ding on that. The United States is not fighting this war. Good God. So anyway, that's trending. And let's see. Also, ivermectin's trending. I'm going to leave it here. Basically, a lot of people are talking about these doctors are going to start suing the FDA and the people who've been banned for talking about ivermectin now that it's FDA approved for, what do you call it? Alternate use for COVID-19. They've dropped the ban on it. So a lot of people talking about ivermectin, and a lot of people, look, some doctors were using this as a prophylactic when people got COVID-19, and they swore that it worked. Now that's the doctor's option to use alternative uses of approved medicine, which ivermectin is. So it surprises me that there might be, or doesn't surprise. Well, look, there's going to be people suing the U.S. government over this because they say, oh, well, we could have helped my dying loved one by using this. I don't know if you could have or not, but the rhetoric around it so that they could have the what are they called? The authorization for the emergency authorization for the stupid 19, Fauci juice. I think there should be some people suing. So a lot of people talking about that today. Real quick, thank you, Tyre Alexander. Let's put my face back up here. Thanks, Tyre Alexander, dropping another small bullet in the tip jar. Thank you, sir. Says P-Dog, you give me a phone to use for case of emergency, and only for that reason, but I start calling my friends on that phone. Would you take it? Would you take it, right? You would take it, right? These people are so fucking stupid or retarded. That's a very good analogy. If I give you someone a phone for they're just specifically for their own emergency use, and then they start calling 800 lines or 1-900 lines, which okay, this is something. Are there even such thing as a 900 line anymore? You remember those? Yeah, dollar by the minute lines. All right. What else I got? If I'm not oh, gender is trending. Gender is trending. I think this is my last one, isn't it? No, I got two more than this. I'm going to skip that one. I'm not going to do that one. Gender is trending today, which is pretty much trends all the time on Twitter, basically. And I'm just found one particular article that I find hopeful. So we're going to do the hopeful article because I'm really kind of out of time here. This article gives me hope. All right. Now, first of all, I'll put the topic on here because there's a whole bunch of stuff. There's some crazy stuff, like this couple here. These non-binary polyamorous parents are raising two young children. I think they should be thrown in jail. One child is non-binary at the age of 10, and the other is antigender at age 2. And the parent, two non-binary males and one woman in a polyamorous relationship parenting two children. I feel sorry for those children. I'm just saying. I feel sorry for those children. But that's not the article I wanted to pop up. This is good news. Washington University, that's out of St. Louis, if you're not familiar with Washington University, St. Louis, has curtailed transgender care to minors in response to the state law. This is, as it should be. Citing unacceptable legal liability, Washington University officials announced Monday the school's physicians will stop providing gender-affirming medications to minors who are technically eligible for those treatments under new Missouri law. While the new law bars puberty blockers and hormone therapy for minors who weren't receiving care prior to August 28th, the law also exempted patients who were receiving medications before the law took effect. But in announcing its decision, university officials pointed to a new legal claim in the law patients can make if they receive puberty blockers and or hormone therapy as a minor. Now, this is where some of these lawsuits that some of the detransitioners may be coming into play. Washington University physicians will no longer prescribe puberty blockers or cross-sex hormones to minors for purposes of gender transition. The statement the university said, the Washington University Transgender Center at St. Louis Children's Hospital will continue to offer education and mental health services to transgender youth, which are still allowed under law, the university said. Transgender adults will also still be able to receive medications from Washington University. The announcement closes a chapter in a months-long fight by conservative Republicans in Jefferson City. That's the capital of Missouri, if you didn't know. to end puberty blockers and hormone treatment, which health providers describe as components of gender-affirming care for minors. No, which activists, healthcare professionals who happen to be activists. We are disheartened we have to take this step. However, Missouri's newly enacted law regarding transgender care has created a new legal claim for patients who receive these medications as minors. Wait a minute. So you're worried about the legal claims that transgender people that you've been giving these drugs, these medically life-altering drugs to minors, because now they can sue you if you fuck them up for life? Oh, that's good. Good to be that cautious. Officials said the claim creates unsuitable liability for healthcare professionals. Well, I thought this was such a good thing. I thought this was life-saving treatments. You don't usually have a liability for a life-saving treatment. Oh, no. And it makes it untenable for us to continue to provide comprehensive transgender care for minor patients without subjecting the university and our providers to an unacceptable level of liability. So the Washington University Transgender Center became a focus of a broader debate over transgender medical care in February, when Jamie Reed, a former case manager, claimed families were rushed into treatment, mental health issues were ignored, and side effects of hormone therapy glossed over. So I remember this. In fact, I think I might have even did a short video about it. She did an interview. What the hell are they called? She did an interview on YouTube talking about how they weren't even, if someone came in and said that they thought they were a boy or girl, they just asked one question and would put them on therapy immediately. And there was no, they were not following the WPATH guidelines. They were just, if they even mentioned it once, you're on the path to medicalization. And she basically was a whistleblower. I wonder if it's, let's see, what are they linked to here? Here we go. Here's her whistleblower status. Let's see, just a second here. Oh, this is her. Yeah, breaking Washington University physician will no longer prescribe puberty blockers or cross-sex hormones to minors for the purpose of gender transition. She, I can't remember the website. I'll look it up. I might put it in the links later. Okay. So anyway, Reed claims add momentum to the push for the new Missouri law this spring. They were subject of a recent investigation in the New York Times, which prompted calls this month for a fresh evaluation of clinic practices by U.S. Senator Josh Hawley. In response to Reed's allegations, first published by the Free Press, an online magazine, Hawley announced in February his office would conduct an investigation of the Transgender Center. Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey and also announced his probe at that time. Washington University defended its practice on Monday. Well, I don't care, because they can defend it all they want. You cannot defend giving these drugs to kids, to minors. I'm sorry, that you just can't. There's too much evidence that, one, that it does not reduce the suicidality of transgender people, and number two, it permanently changes their body chemistry. It permanently changes things that you cannot reverse. So who cares what you think? I'm done with you. But anyway, this is a victory. This is a victory that needs to be done, needs to happen, and good on them. All right. And let's see. All right, let's move on. Okay, I put that link. All right, I'm going to finish with Mr. Tucker Carlson. I'm also going to leave the link to my Marty's Big Journey Instagram in the chat, in the links today. It's just me being goofy and also just various bits of my travels. We travel a lot. It's travel. Basically, here's the description of the channel. We travel a lot. We travel and laugh a lot. So I make videos of places and tell jokes. That's my whole channel. It's places and me telling jokes. So if you like to laugh every once in a while, if you need some comic relief from P-Dog, you can go on Instagram, or you can follow me on Marty's Big Journey on YouTube. All right, let's finish up with Tucker Carlson, because he kind of had this little speech somewhere, and I think he breaks down the question why they hate Trump so much. And I think this is a really good answer. We'll finish up with this. Here we go.
There's a reason in the order. It's not just that it's nice to say what you think and that it's essential to human dignity to be able to express what you really believe, though that is true. You cannot be a full citizen if you can't say what you think. You are instead a slave. If you're not allowed to say what you think, you are not a citizen, you are a slave. It's that simple. And you don't need physical shackles because you have them in your head already.
Right?
So that is all true. But that's not why they're trying to control what you say. They're trying to control what you say because they know that if you say it, nothing will ever be the same. And this is exactly why they hate Trump. And it's not an endorsement of Trump, but it's just interesting since I've known, I've watched the whole Trump saga, and I've had various feelings at various times. I've been incredibly frustrated by Trump because honestly, who couldn't be? And then other times I've been totally inspired and excited. But the whole time I'm watching Trump, I'm thinking to myself, the core question which no one ever asks, which is, why do they hate him so much? I mean, honestly, why do they hate Trump so much?
Because he bucks the system.
It's the talking. It's the talking. It's not because Trump's program is so radical. Are you joking? If this were...
Think about it. Think of the policies that he enacted while he was president. Pretty fucking mainstream Republican policies. Some not even Republican policies. Like the prison reform, that's not a Republican policy. Something that needs to be done. But, it's not because of his policies. It's because he talks.
In 1985, he'd be like a center-left liberal. It's not radical at all. That's fascism? Are you joking? No. No, it has nothing to do with what he does. It has everything to do with the fact that for whatever reason, his brain is not entirely controlled by the people in charge. And because he's not entirely controlled, well, first of all, it tells you that everybody else is entirely controlled. If, Trump is the one they hate the most, what did Trump do wrong? I mean, you could say, oh, well, he's orange or whatever. Okay, fine. But, has he really committed a crime so severe that we should send him to prison for the rest of his life?
Nope.
That's insane. And half the Republicans in Washington, probably closer to about 95%, would be very psyched if he went to prison for the rest of his life. So why is that? I'll tell you exactly why. I know, because I've watched this really carefully from Washington for his entire term, and then the subsequent 3 years. They hate Trump because they fear Trump. And they fear Trump not because of what he might do, but because what he might say. And at any moment, Trump might be autistic enough to tell the truth about what's actually happening. Whoa, wait, what's that? I was in D.C. when this started, and Trump had the greatest line I've ever heard. And no one even noticed it except me, because I spent my life in Washington, but he was having some debate, and somebody said something about NATO, which is the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, post-war, to prevent the Soviets from invading Western Europe. And Trump goes, what's the point of NATO? And I remember thinking, what a stupid question. What's the point of NATO? Everyone knows the point of NATO.
The point of NATO is to deter the Russian Empire.
From invading Germany. But
there's no Soviets anymore.
But there are no more Soviets.
Ding. Hello.
That ended in 1991.
Hello.
So, what is the point of NATO? That's actually, and then I was thinking to myself, because I had been living in D.C., so I was, captured by the groupthink that does capture you if you live in a place long enough. I remember my wife, who grew up outside Detroit, being like, why would anyone buy a Japanese car? That's insane. She just grew up here. To this day, she would never have a foreign car. What? They can't really be better. You're a product of the world you live in. So I'd never thought of, what's the point of NATO? And Trump said that.
That was a great line, Lord Stanhope, too.
I remember thinking, that's an entirely fair question. I'm sure there's a good answer. Anybody? No one can answer it. And instead, they attacked him like he was Hitler. And I remember thinking, why are you mad at him for asking what turns out to be a totally legitimate question? And maybe you've got a good answer. What is it? Shut up. Oh, shut up. That's your answer? Really?
Pretty much.
And it was that kind of thing. And it was the fear that he might say one of 1,000 things that you're not allowed to say, which is pretty much everything at this point. And by the way, I'll stop at this and take your hostile questions. But if you want to know, and I'm being completely sincere, what's true The true things are the things that you can't say. I cannot remember the last time someone in public life.
All right, so I don't know what was after that, but that's so that's how we're going to finish the show. But the only thing I want you to do, you know, I always say like and subscribe, all that stuff, the like button and share the stream. For the next few weeks, share the stream, share the stream, share the stream, share the channel. That's the only one I want. Okay, if you can do that over the next few. And I'm going to say that a lot. I appreciate the donations and they help me greatly. I need, I'm out of work for 6 weeks. I appreciate hitting the like button, but right now, my biggest thing I need is you guys share the stream and invite more people to join us here. And, that would be a greatest help to me because I'm languishing and sometimes it's frustrating. And so I'm going to continue putting out more, short form content. And if you guys help me share the stream, we'll grow this a little bit, and then I won't have to beg for money all the time, which I don't really do because, I understand everyone's going through tough times because, especially in this economy, but I want you to, we'll go, but just share the stream and that'll do us great wonders. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. I'm here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, but this time it's whenever I show up because I have things going on. Anyway, I will be dropping the links in the outro right after I click that button. So that's it. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. My name is Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here. Have a great day. Goodbye. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the Dawg Knight Channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.